Do you have an avoidant or emotionally unavailable partner that tends to pull away when things start to get intimate? If so, it probably leaves you feeling pretty hurt and confused, especially if things have been going well right up until that moment. Well, by the end of this video, you are going to be able to identify 6 ways avoidant partners pull away, plus the 6 must-know reasons why. This will help you know exactly where you stand in your relationship so you can determine if it really serves you. And if you don't know me or you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Brianna and I am a licensed and board-certified creative arts therapist with more than 15 years in the field, helping adults struggling with insecure attachment go from self-doubting to self-sovereign so they can attract the soul-shaking, passionate partnerships that they want. And I do this using a psycho-spiritual approach to creative arts interventions, which I call the MacWilliam method. The content on my YouTube channel is derived from my online courses, which you can learn more about through the link in the caption of this video. If you would like to learn more about your attachment style, you can take the 4-question quiz. If you like what you see and hear and you want to learn more, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. I put up videos once a week, and I wouldn't want you to miss out. Now, before we dive into today's topic, it's really important to define what is avoidant attachment. Avoidant attachment is basically when someone is considered to be emotionally unavailable. In periods of stress, avoidant partners tend to pull away from their partners so that they can solve the problem on their own. This distancing strategy helps them retain a sense of independence and autonomy, as they tend to value their personal freedom above all else. This is usually because they are better able to emotionally regulate or control their emotions when they are alone. But the problem with that is their partners start to feel rejected, alienated, angry, and increasingly anxious. So they start to push for more contact, decreasing the distance between them, and that only pushes their avoidant partner further away. But how will you be able to tell when and if your partner starts to distance themselves? Well, here are 6 signs they are keeping you at a distance and the must-know reasons why. Number 1, they keep you separate from most of the relational aspects of their lives. If it's been over 2 years and you still haven't met anybody from their family, or their friends refer to you with a nickname or a code name like hips, muscles, buns, or deep throat, they are not taking you or the relationship very seriously. Why do they do it? Now, pet names can be endearing and express a certain level of intimacy in a relationship, but bro-ish nicknames like this tend to objectify you, and they are dehumanizing. People do this so that they don't have to feel too emotionally connected to you, because those close feelings are threatening. Number 2, you start to feel like a burden and as if even small gestures or requests for reassurance are considered to be a huge demand. And so they seem to have a disproportionately intense reaction to any expression of need or desire for reassurance. Why do they do that? Well, this is usually because avoidant partners are hypersensitive to issues of emotional manipulation and control. Most likely in their upbringing, they were taught that if you have an uncomfortable emotion, then it must be their fault. It means that they have failed in some way because there were very few boundaries in their upbringing. And so now in their adult relationships, when a partner makes even a benign request, they experience it as a criticism, as telling them that they are already failing, and or that you are being too demanding. Number 3, they avoid any kind of direct discussion about the nature of the relationship, in particular, your relationship status. Why do they do that? Well, usually it's either because they don't want the relationship to progress and or they're afraid that if you define the relationship, then you are also spelling the end of it. Any attempts to address this issue will be met with inexplicable withdrawals and redirects, acting out in such a way as if it is they are reminding you of your place, or threatening to end the relationship such as it is before you do. They're usually afraid that if the nature of the relationship changes, so too will your expectations, and they will be unable to meet them. Avoidant partners are also conflict avoidant in the extreme, and they might feel that discussing the status of a relationship is headed for conflict. They might also say something to your face to please or placate you, but then act in a passive-aggressive way that is in complete contradiction to what they said. Okay, before we explore the next 6 signs and reasons why, I would love to know in the comments below, have you experienced any of the first 3? Just give me a like or a thumbs up to let me know that I'm on the right track and we can create more content like this. Also, remember to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. I put out videos once a week and I wouldn't want you to miss out. Number 4, they generally act pretty shady. This can look like being really actively engaged with ex-lovers in their personal life and or on social media. They might even post ambiguous photos online with flirty captions, both with you and then with someone else. Maybe they lock themselves in the bathroom with their phone and come out an hour later saying that you've got nothing to worry about. In other words, you basically have the sense that you are a backup plan, one of many options that they are weighing. This leaves you with a sense that you're always competing with someone or some idealized version of something that your partner may be looking for in their heads. So you find yourself trying to figure out who that person is and then to become it, losing yourself in the process. Why do they do this? Well, there are several possible reasons, one of which could be to remind you of your place and to remind you not to get too excited about the relationship because they are weighing their options. They may try to be getting a rise out of you so that they can feel validated by the spectacle, or perhaps they're trying to provoke you into expressing your deeper feelings so that they don't feel like the vulnerable ones in the relationship. It could also be all three of these combined. Number 5, they turn you into their therapist. You might think that being there for your partner or potential partner in an unconditional way will ingratiate yourself to them. And it's true, helping someone work through their emotional problems often makes them feel closer to you. But unfortunately, it usually winds you up in the friend zone. For someone who is more avoidant in nature, their friends tend to be more important to them than their romantic partners are. So in some ways, you may have made yourself more important to them, but you've also ruined your chance at a romantic relationship with them. I know, it's a catch-22. Why do they do that? Because they love you and they most likely respect you. They really do. And they'd like to keep you around for a while. So dumping you in the friend zone is actually the safest way to keep it that way. Number 6, they will tell you in 100 different subtle and not so subtle ways that they are avoidant from the get-go. And they will express it through a bunch of catchphrases that basically add up to the sentiment, there is no such thing as long-lasting love. So they'll say things like, romance is a fallacy, or long-term relationships never work, or monogamy goes against human nature. They might even say, the world is overpopulated enough as it is. Or they'll say things like, labels ruin a relationship. And then they'll probably spend a whole bunch of time spinning their wheels, researching whatever scientific evidence they can find to support these beliefs. They might even write a book about it. Why do they do this? When you have a constant pressure inside of you to connect, as all human beings do, and then there is a powerful opposing voice that convinces you connection will mean your doom, your ego will constantly be looking out into the world and into your environments to find evidence to support its position. Because this is driven by your attachment system, which at its most basic level is about your survival on the body level. And so it's likely this person experienced love and connection as bad, as threatening, as disappointing, or even dangerous. If you'd like to learn more about avoidant partners and if they can change, I invite you to check out my video on YouTube called Can Avoidant Partners Change? 3 Major Obstacles for Rolling Stones. It's really important to realize that avoidant attachment styles usually evolve out of a negative past experience of being violated, abused, or traumatized or invaded on some level. And this could be mental, emotional, or even physical. These signs are essentially strategies for deactivating their own needs for love and connection, because it has been their experience that love comes at a price that is too high to pay. But avoidant partners, they want love too, just as badly as you do, if not more so. And that can make them really scared of their own fantasies and desires for love. Therefore, behaving in a jerky way is a really great way to keep intimacy at bay, while filtering for partners that won't ask for too much. So they get some of their needs met, but not all of it met, so that they're not required to be openly vulnerable, and therefore they cannot be wounded. Now, avoidant partners can commit to relationships. They might be hesitant initially, they may sometimes be called commitment phobic, but they can and do commit. But it's important to note that when they commit, there will often be an emotional veil between themselves and their partner. This is when you start to feel together but alone. If you have a partner that is willing to do this, I invite you to stay tuned to my channel so you can catch next week's video called 6 Signs an Avoidant Partner Loves You. Now, if you're not sure that your partner is avoidant and/or you want to know about what your own attachment style may be, check out the link to an easy 4-question quiz in the caption of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.